Today on Drawbli.
Ben is drawing a clown.
What? Abby, how could you say that? That's so
told me to
rude.
say it.
Click that subscribe button if you're new around
And
here.
comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve as artists.
And share your work online with hashtag Drawbli.
Yeah.
I can't believe you would call my artwork a clown.
You told
Wow.
me to call it that.
Unbelievable.
This is a very cool reference photo.
It is a very cool reference photo. And as we say in all of our video descriptions, if you know who took the photo and who the subject matter is in our photo references, please comment it below. Pinterest is not great at providing those references, and we would be happy to credit them in the description.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm drawing a portrait here, as we often have been doing from our studying during the Ahmed Al-Dori class. And this is a combination of a lot of new or not a lot of new techniques, but a combination of everything that I have learned up to this point from going through that course. I feel like we have definitely leveled up so much from going through this course, and I'm extremely happy that we have.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the point where we're kind of done. Well, I should say we are done going through like the main lectures, and now there's just like
bonus content
that you can go through at your own pace whenever you want. So we are kind of entering into the next stage of Drawbli, where, you know, I know you're going through some of that stuff. I haven't gone through any of it yet. I'm trying to find the next specific thing that I want to focus on. I would like to, in particular, you've been doing a lot of body sketches, like full figure stuff lately, and that is something I haven't done in a very long time for good reason. For good reason. So I think that might be something I would like to work on a little more. Maybe find some specific instructions in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever want to just catch up on the basics of drawing parts of anatomy, I really like the stuff on Proco's website that's free, that you can go through, and he just breaks it down body part by body part, the shoulder girdle, the rib cage, all about drawing them and drawing them in different angles and perspective.
The perspective!
Yeah,
Perspective's the worst.
I recommend you start there if you're wanting to get back into
Whoever
bodies.
invented perspective, I'd like to have a word with you.
He's been long dead.
He?
Well, back in the day, they didn't let women discover things.
Right, you're true. Even today, we barely let it. It's barely acceptable.
So you're doing a lot of your new techniques here. I see you're blocking in a lot of color. Oh, you always do this where you block in like the very vibrant colors and tone down the opacity. Oh, there you combine two colors that would desaturate one another.
So, I actually have had a lot of really interesting thoughts while painting this portrait.
Tell me.
Before and after.
Tell me.
Gosh, I'm just so interesting. I have so many interesting thoughts that I have to tell you
I know.
about.
Tell me your interesting thoughts already.
So, first, I think a painting should be more than the reference that you're aiming for. Meaning that, like, I don't want to just copy this piece. I want it to be... Not that I'm necessarily trying to say something and make this big, like, artistic statement, because I'm not. I'm just trying to create an image that I enjoy. I'm not sitting here creating some fine art with this big underlying statement. Like, if some kind of statement about myself gets into the piece, cool. If not, cool. But I think that there should be little elements of fun that you add to it that are just fun to look at for fun's sake. Because I don't want to ever do photorealism. I think that's incredibly boring. If I wanted to do that, I'd pick up a camera.
Yeah.
But
fair.
While watching some Marco Bucci stuff recently, that's something that he talks about a lot. Like the actual fun of creating the thing and being able to see that in the brush strokes. And I tried to do that a little while ago, but I just couldn't figure out exactly how I wanted to do that. So I actually took a step backwards to before we ever took the Ahmed Al-Dori class, and I kind of like unlearned some of the techniques that I had been doing and went back to some of the old stuff, like the old strategies of doing a lot of these heavy-handed colors and brush strokes and fading them out and just playing with that and almost being really confident and decisive with the stuff that I did to just say, like, sure, that brushstroke goes there. Like, why the heck not? Does it look good or bad? I actually don't care. Like, I'm just putting it there because I want to.
Yes.
And I'm going to, make it work somehow. So I did a lot of that here after I get through this blending stage. And that was a really, it made working on this piece enjoyable. It made it fun to do.
That's cool. I like that thought process a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you do anything when you're painting that is just fun to do for the sake of, painting it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, for drawing, I should say, I like to do the lines. I like sketching and line work. When it comes to painting and brush strokes, I haven't been doing that long enough that I'm natural enough at it that any part of it feels like free and fun and easy. It's focused and difficult and a good kind of struggle where I'm trying to become better at something that I'm not good at yet. And it can be frustrating, it can be tiring, but it's that kind of thing like exercise where, I'm tired for a good reason. But the fun thing is lines.
The fun thing is lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a big believer in leaning into your strengths and the things that you do that make, your artwork unique. And I think that this is one of them for me. And I think that it's something that I've done from the very beginning, not necessarily intentionally. Just kind of, it felt really natural to work that way for me. It felt very similar to kind of how I work in 3D, kind of sculpting up some shapes. I liked the idea of being able to put down a big brush stroke and then just control its opacity to put it in a really solid place and end up look at this face. There's just a lot going on here that's kind of just unique and fun. I really like that element.
I love the way you render eyes. I think you are really good at that. And I could learn a lot from your eye techniques. My eyes tend to look very muddy and soft lately, and your irises in particular tend to hold a lot more definition, and sparkle and form.
It's all about the sparkle and form.
You're really good at communicating the form of the eyeball and the socket.
I think understanding I saw this GIF the other day that was just rendering a face and then rendering a cube next to it, and it's just it's all about the basics. Everything always comes back to the fundamentals where it's you gotta understand the form that you're looking at and not muddy your values. Here's the light, this is where the light is hitting the object. The nose is a box. You can't F up the box. It's gonna look weird if you do that. And that's all it comes back to. It always comes back to fundamentals.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work on fundamentals while simultaneously throwing in all this fun stuff that makes it my own. Because I don't want to I don't know. I want to have my own unique style, and I almost don't want to try to control it too much. And I think that was something that we tried to do initially, where we're we really like these artists' work, and we're trying to lean in that direction. But more so now, I'm just letting the flow, I'm going with the flow,
Yeah.
I'm letting it kind of lead me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you'll naturally gravitate towards what you like anyway.
Exactly.
I think that's a fair way to go.
Yeah, and I think now that we're kind of transitioning, like I was saying earlier, out of the section of always having assignments, like what we had with the Ahmed Al-Dori course, now we have a lot more freedom to kind of work on whatever we're going to work on, which can be scary in some ways, especially after going on such a long stint of having assignments given to us.
I love having assignments.
Yeah, I know you do, and I can tell that you're struggling a little bit with some not having some of those.
That's
assignments.
why people love being in college and school. Sometimes it's just nice.
So maybe we can come up with some assignments for ourselves.
It doesn't work like that.
Oh, it absolutely does. I think we could easily do that.
Okay, what's an assignment for me?
An assignment for both of us. Maybe we could do over the next week, a certain number of gesture drawings or something like that.
Okay, I think we're leaning in the right direction. By
Something-
the way, this
something
turned
like
out
that.
amazing. Amazing job. Environment, the eyes being like a focus piece, and a lot of it being kind of like softer edges is a very, very good technique. I love her neck collar too, how
Yeah.
bright that is. Great job.
I was actually very happy with the variation in saturation that I got with this piece, but obviously there's always room for improvement. I can see many places that I would love to improve. I simply couldn't execute on that. And there's like a weird tangent going on with my chin and the light looping down into the ground if you squint your eyes and look back a little bit. Which I did notice, and I was like, I'll fix that later, and then I totally didn't. But anyway, this is the part where we tell you that you should click that subscribe button.
And comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve.
And share your cool art online with the hashtag Drawbli.
And this is the part where we say
Goomba.
Goodbye.
Why did you call my artwork a clown at the beginning
Because
of this
you
video?
told me to.
Abby, I
You
would
told me to
why
do
would I
it.
tell you to call? That's just ridiculous.
Nobody believes you.
I have a lot more subscribers than you on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, and they
So
don't
I think
believe
people
you
are going to
either.
believe me.